Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Modern Investing on Pod TV. My name is Sasha Starr, and my guest today is Jim Eat from Eat Foundation. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thank you, Sasha. It's great to be here.
Of course, today's Wednesday, but a lot
Yeah.
of red instead of green, right? And apparently, market was due for correction for quite a time, and correction is right there. It's just the severity of that correction is unknown at this time. So far, everything is going down, and at least there is a pattern. The pattern is that in the morning, the futures are up.
Yes,
They're
I
okay,
know.
and then institutions start dumping stocks at retail. Retail has a mentality of buy the dip, and they are very skillfully using that and unloading increasing amount of shares every day, and it's happening already on Friday, on Monday, on Tuesday, and today is Wednesday. The only thing is that the volume is about diminishing at around noon, and so afternoon markets are about the same, maybe even climbing up a little bit, depends. So this pattern is right there, and what's worrisome about that is that all talk about Santa Claus rally is now dead. There will be no Santa Claus rally this year. Actually, it would be beautiful if we could stay at this level where we are now, because there is a hope that starting January there could be some recovery. Again, I'm not certain about that, but a chance is there. But we'll see. We'll see. Market is, as always, unpredictable. Everything can happen. The only thing what I would like to notice is that one event today, oh my God, it will decide a lot of things. It's Micron reporting. After all the fiasco with NVIDIA and Oracle and Broadcom, today's Micron reporting is crucial. If it's will go down, it doesn't matter whether it will report a huge profit, it will go down, or it will report a little profit, it will go down. It's all direction of the stock. That's what counts. Whatever earnings are there, irrelevant. Jim, what do you think?
Well, I think we're seeing a December phenomena that often gets overlooked, and it doesn't play much of a role in our personal investing, Sasha, you and I. But people dump some stocks for income tax purposes in December. They want to balance their portfolio. So if they have some winners, they want to sell some losers so that they can offset, so they have to pay taxes on it. And some people are doing the same thing when they're money market managers and they want to report good numbers to their shareholders. So some of that, it goes on every December, and that's why we normally see some buying in January. And so
So where is Santa Claus rally?
yeah,
That's
it's these are occasional dips, which I never pay too much attention to. What I do pay attention to is the sell off in the what I think of as the AI sector. And you mentioned Broadcom, NVIDIA, these types of stocks, and they've taken a bit of a hit. But the run up has been so extraordinary that this little hit is just a bump in the road, and I'm not discouraged at all because their future prospects for revenue still seem to be unchecked, and they keep reporting record earnings. And so as long as that is continuing to happen, and I see no reason why that won't continue to happen, I'm holding on to these stocks that are temporarily getting a little in the red. and shrugging that off.
Yeah, well, the percentage of a drop in especially Broadcom is quite worrisome.
That
NVIDIA
that
is
is
not.
right.
Oracle, Oracle is it's not a cheap stock really, although they're involved in the AI. With Oracle, the problem is that today it was known that their financial partner for walked away from $10 billion investment in the data centers. And
Right.
it's the case that it could affect NVIDIA and Broadcom and many other stocks because if there will be no or less data centers built, so there will be less demand for their chips, or maybe they will find another financial partner to
Right.
do the same. So that remains to be seen.
And
But Oracle also has substantial drop, but Broadcom, that's now 20% in a few days. That's
right.
quite substantial. It will take a long time to recover for a Broadcom.
Yes. NVIDIA has also announced that they're building a data center in Israel.
Yeah,
Um, so
yeah.
this data center construction is a good sign. When I think of you're building the data centers, which are the AI support needs the data centers, and the data centers need energy. So it can be kind of a snowball effect one way or the other. And if you have to go into debt to buy these, to build these data centers, that could be a red flag to me. But if you're generating so much revenue that you can just pay cash to build these data centers, that's a different story.
Well,
Um,
that's why I thought that Oracle is a good proposition because Oracle doesn't depend just on data centers. They have a lot of different businesses that provide
that's
incredible
true.
income and profit. So Oracle is there to stay, that's for sure, except that they have to mitigate this inconvenient thing. And they dropped by 12.5%,
Yeah, yeah, it was a substantial drop. Yeah,
substantial
yeah.
drop.
The Broadcom one was more worrisome to me, I think. But the Nvidia and another stock that I hold in this area, Marvell, they've taken temporary dips as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
Um,
Marvel is absolutely worrisome. Not to be worried about it, and it will recover. And Broadcom, I'm a little bit worried about. I don't have Broadcom shares, but it's in some ETFs.
I do not either. Yeah, right.
No.
That's right. You probably hold it
Oracle,
without knowing it. Yeah.
yeah, Oracle I do hold, and I think that Oracle should recover relatively quickly. Well, it depends on the overall market condition and the story with this absent financing for data center. In fact, it may be even to the best because even if they have financial partner, they still have to also invest into the data centers or so on. So it could be done maybe at later stage. But their revenue base is quite spectacular, and that's why Oracle is very different from many other AI plays. And I wouldn't even consider Oracle as a pure AI
No,
play. It's not.
no, no.
It's not definitely.
No, I don't own any Oracle, but I do. A friend of mine used to work there and got a lot of options when he
Mhm.
left, and he just bought a house in Carmel, second house, and
Ah,
so it's done very well for him and for others.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, well, so with how to mitigate these market conditions, like for me, it's definitely a question. Let's see. Uh, I don't have any positions in Broadcom or Nvidia, but I do have position in Oracle. So the way I'm trying to mitigate it, I've sold three 200 puts expiring April 17th, 2026. So the play here is okay. I got paid $27 for each put. So if I'm right and Oracle will be 200 and higher, it's now 100, 180 actually as we speak. Okay, so I should be okay, even if it will be 180 by April. I'm okay still with this. So that how I'm trying to mitigate. Also, I have 300 shares, so I'm not selling covered calls at this point because they're too cheap for that. But if they will move to 185 or even better to 119, then I would sell some covered calls, but not at this point. So I'm just would like to.
And that's because the premium is too low?
Uh, yeah, the premium is low, and most likely stock will be called away. So for this
Right.
premium, without recommending, well, one defensive mechanism that I'm using in this particular setup would be to sell high out of the money long calls like September, maybe even December of 2026. There you have much bigger premiums. Potentially, it's 99% that you will win this transaction. The problem is that time to wait for that to materialize. And in the meantime, if stock will get much higher, so let's see January, for example, February, then you start taking losses on this long-term call position, and that's a little bit uncomfortable. So I would prefer at this time just to see what's happening. By the way, as we speak, and it's now past 1 o'clock, market is somewhat trying to recover. So the selling of institutions is now over, as it was in the last few days. So market is trying to recover. Now, Jim, what you mentioned earlier, the tax selling, well, nobody canceled the tax selling, but the pattern of institutions getting unload severe amount of shares. I'm not sure that it relates to tax selling. I think institutions are trying to unload shares into the markets, even unlock their profits, whatever they said on Broadcom.
That's every quarter. That's the case. Yes.
Yeah, they want to close the book, show profits on all the stocks. They may even buy them in the last day or two of.
That's the Santa Claus rally. We still have time for that because when they want to do they want to report a profit, but they also want to show people that they're invested in the hot stocks. So,
yeah, well, so they may unload not all their position in, for example, Broadcom, but only 90% of their position or so on. However, at this point, I don't believe that they will continue selling Broadcom because this is down so much,
right,
20% at least. They don't want to unload Oracle because look. Oracle still is quite sufficient.
I wonder if Broadcom is getting to the point where I would be interested in buying. I don't know. It's an expensive stock.
Well, again, you may consider, even instead of just buying Oracle, do what I did, just sell what I sold April 17, 200 puts. That's probably just as good as buying, maybe even better. Who knows?
Yes. Yeah, that's the modern investing approach, and that could be the way to go. Broadcom stock got stomped. Why is it still JP Morgan's top chip pick? So there's
and maybe the same JP Morgan is selling.
Yes.
No, well, you can say at the same time that it's a wonderful stock and great business, and sell at the same time because it's probably overvalued. But if it will go down another 20%, well, remember, we told you that it's a great company.
It's now on my radar.
So it's very cute situation. So you really have to work for yourself and figure out what is first of all, how the chart looks, whether there are some levels to be observed, whether the stock is in uptrend, and it could go down even in uptrend. If you have two parallel lines and it hits lower line, but it doesn't go lower, That's okay. Now, if it goes lower, then as we know, the trade line is becoming
Goes
now
lower too.
resistance. So whatever it was support before, becoming resistance. So you have to value all these factors. I don't think that's the only thing what you have to look at, because your situation with your investments and your goals, there are a lot of things to have to be observed. But the charts, the levels, it's still there and it works most of the time, not 100%, but 70, 80%. Yes, it does work. So 70 to 80%, I think it's a great statistics. So if you do your investments and you're right 70 to 80% of the time,
I'll
I'm,
take it.
I'm, I'm it's absolutely, it's a great proposition. And
I want to go to B plus, but B minus is okay.
absolutely. I added a new investment today. It's a dividend paying ETF, similar to NVDY.
Right.
NVDY is so far disappointing, very, very low dividends. Today was announced, and NVDY is down considerably. Maybe it's tied up to NVIDIA performance, and
Right.
maybe it's temporarily. However, that's what we have, what it is. And the new investment I got today, GGXY. It's a ETF dealing with income strategy for the gold miners,
Yes.
GGX. Yeah,
Yes. You mentioned this in the past, and that's
yeah,
also on my radar now. A dividend paying ETF that will profit from when gold price goes up. And but the key for this investment strategy is the dividends. And how
yeah.
often do they report or release the dividends? Is it weekly or monthly or
Weekly. No, no, it's weekly. And
weekly?
what's interesting is that NVDY reported only 11, 11 something,
Oh,
11 and
that
a
is
half.
disappointing. Yes.
It's disappointing, yeah. But considering what NVIDIA stock did in the last
Yes.
few days, it could have
To
been
be
expected.
expected. Right.
Still
Right.
low. Okay, we'll get it, whatever
We'll
it
write
takes.
it out. Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not selling. Yeah.
Now, the GDXY, on the other hand, declared 18% dividend today. Of
That's
course,
a little more like it.
yeah, and I expect to get some of it because I purchased today this. So the record date is tomorrow. So I hope it will make me eligible for the dividend, which they just announced. I really hope so. I'm not sure 100%, but
Right.
the dividend rate is tomorrow. There could be consideration that it takes a day from the purchase date to record date, and maybe by record date, the stock is still not fully registered in my account or something like that. So we'll play it by ear. Okay, I
Or
don't know.
maybe buy on a Wednesday for these
Well,
dividend producing
you,
stocks.
you see, okay, I expect the stock will go down tomorrow and probably the day after because they will pay dividend, and that's
Yeah.
how usually it works. But we'll see. So far, it's up quite a bit from where I bought it. So we'll see. We'll play it by ear.
All
Let
right.
you know how it
Two
works.
things I'm tracking now that I wasn't tracking earlier.
Uh huh. No,
So,
listen. I think it's a pretty good proposition. This gold-related ETF, because gold is an uptrend, and people. It's just a matter of fact when it will hit 5,000 an ounce.
well,
I
it's a natural protective move for people if they think the stock market is overpriced. And
Yeah, for
and
sure,
yeah, yeah.
for sure. So we have a quite interesting market. It can still go lower, um, although now, as I said, it's already past 1 o'clock. So I still have we have a chances that market will go a little bit higher by the end of the day, and then we'll see what will happen tomorrow. Because tomorrow, what is it? CPI report, I think, and that can affect the market quite a bit. And So we'll have to just write it out. And if you don't want to do acute things, what I'm doing, for example, selling puts, then you might write it out. You might sell and go into cash, or at least partially cash, sell maybe a part of your position. If you believe that market will still go lower, it's not necessarily truth, and it may not go much lower from this level. But we don't know the extent of to which the selling is. I think it should have a little baby Santa Claus rally, maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't see this as runaway selling, where people are just piling on and that you don't see the desperation of people getting out. So I do tend to think this is institutional driven to some extent.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
and and profit taking. I mean, it's year end, people are taking profits, and this is one of the things that happens. And I think that I'm still optimistic about January. I think we'll see January rally. But it's all speculation on my part. But history does tend to prove that these things have been happening year after year after year. And the question in my mind is, the energy supply for the data centers, and who's going to provide that, and which companies are going to excel at that. And that's beyond my area of expertise, and I don't know. But the data centers, the building of a data center is quite a production and quite revenue intensive. So there's only a few AI companies that I think have the revenue that can do it. And like I know some are building in deserts. So where did they get the energy in a desert? And it's maybe nuclear is in play again. I don't know. But like in Israel, they're building a data center in Israel. Where's the energy coming from? So these questions are things that I'm trying to track and get comfortable in my own mind. But I just see that the prospects for AI, we're still just scratching the surface of the applications, and not just in the business sense, in commerce, but the applications in other fields. Then these types of applications are going to change society. I just was at an event in Las Vegas, and I was sitting at a table with a man who's in the field of dentistry. Shout out to Milan, our friend. He was doing some research and publishing some papers, and I asked him what it was on, and he said it was early detection of oral cancers. And what he was using was AI to take a picture and then compare it to a huge database of other pictures of the same type of condition that other patients have had, and what that meant in terms of detection. Early detection is key. So the field of medicine, I think, is going to be revolutionized by the AI applications.
There is no doubts about AI. Now, about the data centers, the most interesting idea is what Trump is working about. Is he wants to get his hands on the Ukrainian nuclear station, which Russians control now. And he wants to build a huge data center right there, so the energy will come from the station once it will be fully working and repaired and so on. And that would, he's making some assumptions that will be the energy will be divided three ways: Russia, Ukraine, and Trump, his nomination people, his sons, maybe his other people. And so America will build a huge data centers there. And the data centers will be American only. They will have nothing to do with Russia or Ukraine.
And there might be a golf course and a hotel next to it.
Yes, of course, hotels, because of where the people are going to stay. Those people who run these data centers, of course, there will be golf resort, hotels, and maybe some kind of casinos.
And military planes will be diverted that they have to stay.
Yeah. Las Vegas, now they need airport, of course,
Yeah.
modern, and a lot of other things. Now, the money is no worry for Trump because all his friends from Saudi Arabia and these people will bring tons of money to build it all and manage and run and so on. So we'll see how that develops. So, but it all depends on one thing: the peace in Ukraine.
Well, then that's where Trump comes in. He becomes a negotiator for peaceful because he profits from it.
Yeah, and you know what's happened in the last few days in Europe when there were all the negotiations. Uh, so Zelensky prepared a very interesting ambush for Trump because one thing Zelensky came, and Europeans supported that there should be American provided guarantees for peace. What's happened if there is a peace and Ukraine gave up territories, and then Russia will start another attack. Then what you do? So you need peace guarantees similar to Article 5 of NATO. So there have to be real guarantees. So America says, okay, we will provide the guarantees. So next move, Zelensky, it's like a little chess going on. Okay, you make one move, your partner responds, now you make another move. So next move of Zelensky was that he needs ironclad guarantees which spell out what United States will do in this case and in that case. And once all that will be done, that has to be ratified by U.S. Congress.
Ooh.
Trump likes to talk, and you picture $2 trillion here, $5 trillion there, and this and that. But when it comes something that has to be signed and ratified by Congress, it's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of talking at this point. Then next move, that's not enough. The next move, Zelensky said there will be a bundle of 5 documents providing the territory, the guarantees, and all other stuff, rebuilding Ukraine in the future.
Yes.
And all that has to be bundled in the one document. So you cannot sign only 2 documents and not to sign other 3 documents. All have to be bundled, all have to be signed, all has to be ratified in U.S. Congress. Trump became speechless. Now what you do? Okay, it was good talk about, we'll provide guarantees and this and that, like Budapest Memorandum, for example. Another thing is to be ratified in Congress. And another thing, it will be spelled out what's happened if Russia attacks. If they will start attack by drones or by tanks or by jet fighters and so on, and what will be responses in this case, in that case, and how fast and how many U.S. planes will be used and so on. It's a very different ballgame. So whereas Trump's casinos and the data centers and all that stuff, it's hard to say now. It's kind of back to reality.
Right.
The dreams are about stopped.
Yes, and I think that if he sees the monetary value that he can profit from these actions, he's going to be highly incented to proceed with them. And whether or not we see this turn into reality, but I agree with you, it is a very clever play by Zelensky. It's
one step at a time. Okay, right. Are you willing to provide guarantees to Ukraine? Yes. Trump says, yes, we are going to provide guarantees. There come next step. What kind of guarantees? Can you spell it out? Can you ratify it in your Congress? So if Trump says, no, we cannot ratify it in the Congress, first of all, he cannot even say that because he's not a Congress.
Right. You can only try. Yes.
Yeah. So all Trump has to do is to, like a postal service. Okay, Congress, I brought to you this for signing. Could you please sign?
Yeah.
The Congress may sign, may not. Okay, that's a different story.
But it's Republican backed.
But he cannot withhold it and say, "Oh, you know what? I'm okay. I'm going to bring it tomorrow." Oh, tomorrow, headache. I just couldn't do it. And then my wife told me not to go anywhere because it's a bad day, and it was a rainy day.
Yeah.
It was cold. It was this and that. So that's not. Or if you remember this, when it was negotiations about with Yasser Arafat and
Yes.
Israeli Prime Minister when it was agreed that possible outcome would be that Israel would give some territories to Arafat, and so there will be a peace. Next day he comes and says, "Sorry, I cannot give you territories." Why? He says, "Because they're all in my wife's name."
Ah.
Sorry, my friends. So, so Trump has to now invent something similar, or else. Yeah.
Very interesting developments. And this is one of the key things is, geopolitical things do have an impact. Like I used to own and I profited by owning Taiwan Semiconductor.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, still performed well. But, the danger that China will just take over Taiwan, spooked me. And I decided to sell because I just thought the probability was too high. But of course I was wrong, at least in the date I was wrong. I thought it might have happened by now, and it hasn't. So these things are hard to predict, but with the upset in geopolitical affairs can affect trade balances, and it can affect shipping and all these types of things. So it has real economic effects across the globe.
But Chips, it sounds to me that this political development could affect not only Taiwan Semiconductors, but NVIDIA and AMD and almost any stock, because Taiwan Semiconductors is building all the chips for all these companies.
Yes.
So that would affect all ecosystem of chips just as well. So if you
That's why you want to invest in people that are making these chips domestically. In the Biden administration, they passed a CHIPS Act, which profited Intel, for example, got a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so now you want to, who are producing these chips? Who's making them? Because this is heavy investment in the process of making the chips. And so more and more of it is coming into the United States. The data centers to support it are being built in the United States, although I cited the exception of Gaza, and now we're talking about one in Ukraine. But, these types of things, it's a matter of national security to be able to develop these things.
It's clear. Absolutely.
In your own country.
Yeah. Jim, so we are doing relatively well withstanding this market downturn. Hopefully it will turn into a little Santa Claus rally, maybe not so little. We'll see. But anyway, thank you for today's program, Jim. Have a great week of trading, and we'll see you same place, same time next week.
Thanks again, Sasha.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.